Right. Dreaming. Okay. Paramahansa Paravidikacharya, also Tera Satashi Shimad, His Divine Grace Sabaya Chantanada Bhaktivedanta Goswami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Friends, say Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shidwaita Garadha Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radhakund, Giri Govardhan Ki Jai, Vrindavanam Ki Jai, Maturnam Ki Jai, Jagannath Swami Ki Jai, Yamunamai Ki Jai, Srimati Lasi Devi Ki Jai, Samveda Bhakta, Vrindi Ki Jai, Gaur Premananda, Hari Hari Bol. All glories the assembled devotees, all glories the assembled devotees. All glories the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Gaur Premananda, Namo Om Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Vastaya, Bhagavesha Bhaktivedanta Swami, Namaste, Namaste, Saraswati Devi, Gaurani Pacharni, Neva Shesha, Shanyavadi Paschat, Tarni, Om Gana, Timidanda Shah, Gananjana Shalakaya, Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So we've been reading from the second chapter of the Adi Kanda of the Caitanya Bhagavata by Vrindavan Das Thakur, who is an incarnation of Srila Vyasadeva in Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. So we're going to continue reading and commenting on this ecstatic literature. And right now we're reading, of course, in the second chapter, which deals with Lord Chaitanya's appearance and some of the events that preceded and occurred at the time of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. So we're going to continue with text 227, which is where we left off here. Actually, we didn't read this in Brisbane, only in Sydney. You're very fortunate. So, text 227. Oh, actually, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Okay, text 227. Kaya Pade Stuti Kahanu Hatte Chati Kaya Chamara Dulaya Re Paramaharishe Keha Pushpa Varishe Kaya Nache Gaya Vaya Re. Some demigods offer prayers. Someone holds an umbrella, another waves the chamara, some happily shower flowers, others dance, and some play musical instruments. So this is celebrating Lord Chaitanya's advent, of course. Text 228. Sabhabhakta Sanghe Kare Aila Gora Hare Pashandi Kichuna Jane Re Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Vrindavana Dasa Rasa Gana Re. Lord Gaurahari descended along with his devotees, but the atheists did not understand a thing, accepting Sri Chaitanya and Nityananda Prabhu as my life and soul. I, Vrindavan Das, sing the glories of their lotus feet. Wow. So, let's skip that. Some of the purports we're skipping because they're basically just explaining what's happening in the verses, or reiterating. Dundabi Dindima Mangala Jaya Dwani Kiya Madhura Rasala Re Vedera Gochara Ajibe Tava Vilambe Nahi Ara Kala Re. The demigods play kettle drums and dindima drums, chant the auspicious sound of Jaya, and sing in sweet melodies. The demigods think, today we will see the Lord, who is unknown through the Vedas. Therefore, let us not waste time. Text 230. Anandendrapura Mangala Kolakhala Saja Saja Bali Saja Re Mahuta Punyabhage Caitanya Parakashe Poilo Navadvipa Mahai Mazhe Re. In this way, the residents of Amaravati, that's the heavenly planets, are in ecstasy, and an auspicious commotion arises as they decorate themselves to go see the Lord. Due to our great fortune, we will see Sri Chaitanya in Navadvip. And of course, we know this only happens once in every day of Lord Brahma. It's a long time. Not for Lord Brahma. It's not a long time. Because every day he figures in the middle of the day I get all this nectar.
Every day.
But the demigod time is different. They have to wait a much longer time. And we have to wait much, much, much longer time because Sahasra Yuga Paryantam. A day of Lord Brahma is 1,000 Divi Yugas taken together. Divi Yugas means a cycle of 4 Yugas together. 1,000 of them taken together. And that's a long time. I mean, even I'm having some trouble with Kali Yuga. Would this be 1,000 Divya Yugas is the duration of Lord Brahma's day. And then the night too. 1,000 Divya Yugas is the duration of Lord Brahma's night. And then you gotta wait to the next day, half of 1,000, middle of the day basically, until Lord Chaitanya appears. So it'd be nice to be Lord Brahma. Because every day you wake up and think, wow, around midday, I get to see Lord Chaitanya, isn't it? And Krishna too. And I get to steal Krishna's calves and cow boys again. All right. So, text 231. Anyonye alingana chambana gana gana lajakeha nahi manevre nadia purandara jannama hulase apana para nahi janevre. Being overjoyed on the birth of the Lord of Nadia, the demigods repeatedly embrace and kiss each other without reservation or consideration of whether one is a friend or a stranger. So these are symptoms of ecstasy. That someone is so much in ecstasy. I mean, just like the other day, some of the devotees were driving with me in the car, and if you remember, there's some legal situation in Fiji, and somebody's taking responsibility for it, and it looks like things are going to happen nicely. And I said to this devotee, another male, after the whole conversation was over, because he's doing such a good job, I said, I really love you. So the devotees are thinking, oh my God, Guru Maharaj has trouble. No. Guru Maharaj doesn't have, at least not that trouble. So, because you just express an ecstasy, it's appreciation of someone. It has to be love between the Vaishnavas. It's not always, when people say love, it's not from some Bollywood movie. Isn't it? Yeah. Because we're conditioned with this word love. The demigods are actually kissing each other. And sometimes in different cultures, the men would actually kiss each other, not because they were homosexuals or anything like that. They were just, they liked each other. And of course in Italy, if someone kissed you, that means you were going to be killed. To the mafia, they just would mark someone, I want to kill him. And then Prabhupada talked about the Vishakanyas, the kissing girls who would kill people. How would they kill people? Because from their very birth they were fed poison and they were immune to the poison, just a little bit, increase. So they go up to the enemy soldiers and they'd say, I love you. And the guy would just keel over and die immediately. So this is I mean, it's interesting how the demigods were so ecstatic just to experience Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance and presence that they were just like, wow, even. And many of the demigods, of course, are not pure devotees. But still they were ecstatic. The question may be raised is why we're not ecstatic. And you can't say, well, it's not because you can't make the excuse, it's because I'm not a pure devotee. It's because you're really not appreciating how great the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is. So, text 232. Aichana kotuke aila navadvipe chodike shuni hari nama re payagora rasa vivala paravasha Chaitanya Jaya Jaya Gana Re. In this joyous condition, they come to Navadvip and hear the sound vibration of Hari's name from all sides. There, they taste Gaura's ecstatic emotions and become overwhelmed as they sing his glories. Text 233. Dekilas Shachi Grihe Gauranga Sundare Ikatra Yaiche Koti Chandra Re Manusha Rupa Dare Grahana Chalakari Moleye Ucha Hari Nama Re. There in Shachi's house, they see the beautiful form of Lord Gauranga, who resembles millions of moons combined together. In the guise of human beings and on the pretext of the eclipse, they all loudly chant the name of Hari. Text 234. And we're almost finished with this chapter. Actually, just one more verse. Sakala Shakti Sange Aila Gora Chandra Bashandi Kachu Nahi Jane Re Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Chanda Prabhu Jana Vrindavana Dasa Rasa Gana Re. Sri Gaurachandra appears along with his energies, but the atheists could not understand a thing excepting Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda is my life and soul. I, Vrindavan Das, sing the glories of their lotus feet. Thus ends the English translation of the Gaudiya Bhashya of Caitanya Bhagavata, Chapter 2, entitled The Lord's Appearance. Chapter 3, Calculation of the Lord's Horoscope. Now, I'm not going to read the chapter summary here. I'm just going to go ahead to the verses. Text 3.1. Prema Dana Ratana Pasara Deka Gora Chandera Bajara. Behold, Gaurachandra's marketplace, where the jewels of love of God are stacked high. Wow. Text 2 to 5. Henamati Prabhu Haila Avatira Age Hari Sankirtana Kariya Prachara Chaturdike Dayaloka Bahana Dekiya Ganga Snane Hari Bali Yayena Dayaya Yaramuka Janmeha Nabale Hari Nama Seha Hari Bali Daya Kari Ganga Snana Dashadik Purna Haila Ute Hari Dwanti Avatirna Goya Asena Dvija Bani. In this way, Lord Gauranga appeared by first inaugurating the Sankirtan movement. From all directions, people went to the Ganges for bath while chanting the name of Hari. Even persons who never chanted the name of Hari in their lives also chanted the name of Hari as they ran to the Ganges for bath. The sound vibration of Hari's name filled the 10 directions. The Lord, who is the best of the Brahmanas, appeared with a smile on his face. Here I'll read the commentary by Srila Bhakti-Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. The tumultuous sound of the chanting of the names of Hari at the transcendental advent of Lord Gauranga The personification of Sri Krishna's Sankirtan indicated that he would later preach the devotional process of chanting the holy names and thus maintain the religious principles of this age. So, 6. What's that?
So this one.
Better they turn it off. Shachi, it's hard because I have very sensitive hearing, so I can hear everything very clearly, even if it's like 100 meters away. So,
Yeah, somebody's talking.
yeah, it's Shachi Jagannatha Deki Putrera Shri Mukha Dvijana Hailena Adanda Swarupa. Seeing their son's face, Shachi and Jagannath were filled with ecstasy. Text 7. Ki Vere Kariba Kiha.
Now we'll just tell them
I can even hear the other phone
to. Wow. Yeah.
and hear what they're saying. That's why I have to use earplugs during kirtan, because you can hear everything from far away. You got to be careful what you say.
That's really nice.
Because I hear everything you say. Ki vida kariba iha kichwi naspure aste vyaste narigana jaya jaya spukare pukare. They were so overwhelmed they did not know what to do. The ladies there became excited and simply exclaimed, Jaya, Jaya. Text 3.8. Yaila sabeyata aptagana ananda haila jagannathera bhavana. All the relatives came rushing to the house of Jagannath Mishra, and the whole household became filled with bliss. 9. Sachira Janaka Chakravarti Nilambara Pratilagne Adbhuta Dekena Vipravara. The father of Sachi Devi and great Brahmana Nilambara Chakravarti noted wonderful planetary arrangements in each house of the child's horoscope. So, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Okay. He was expert in astrology, so he gives like sort of a. Anyway, I guess it's a little bit too much for class right now. So text 10. Maharaja Lakshana Sakala Lakne Kahe Rupa Deki Chakravarti Haila Vismaye. In each house there were signs that indicated a king. Moreover, Chakravarti was astonished by the child's beauty and said, okay, so this is an analysis. I think I can read this. Commentary by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Shukra Venus was in, for those of you who know about astrology, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Mesha Rasi, that's Aries, in the constellation of Ashwini. Ketu, maybe it's a little bit too much for class, because people don't know about astrology. So, just summarize. After scrutinizing and studying all of the Lord's lagnas, Nilamba Chakravarti foretold the highest fruits and was struck with wonder by seeing the Lord's beauty, because the Lord is the original personality of God. Text 11. Vipra Raja Gore Haibe Kahena Ache Viprabale Seva Janiva Taha Pache. There's a prediction that in the future a Brahmin will become the king of Bengal. The future will show whether this child is that personality. 12. Mahajoti Rit Vipra Sabara Agrete Lagne Anupurupa Kata Lagila Kahite. Then the great astrologer Brahman began to speak before everyone present about the symptoms of the various houses in the child's horoscope. Anyway, text 13. Lagne Atadeke E Balaka Maghima Rajahena Vakye Tanre Ditainari Simha The qualities I see in this child's horoscope are beyond those of a king. They are beyond all description. Text 14. Brahaspati jinya hoiba, haibe vidyavan, alpe haibe sarva gunera nidhana. This child will be more learned than Brahaspati. That's, of course, the priest of the demigods. He will soon manifest a reservoir of good qualities. Text 15. Seikane viprarupe eka mahajana prabhura bhavishya karma karaye katana. In that assembly was one great Brahmin devotee who began to describe the Lord's future activities. Wow. Text 16. Vipra bale e shishu sakshat narayana inhaite sarva dharma haibe stapana. This child, he said, this child is non-different from Narayana. He will re-establish religious principles. Text 17. Inhaite haibeka apura prachara e shishu karibe sarva jagat udara. He will preach wonderfully and thus deliver the entire world. Text 18. Brahma Shiva Shukayaha Vanchas Anukshana Inhaite Taha Paibeka Sarva Jana. People will receive from him, love of God that is desired by even Brahma, Shiva, and Shukadeva. Wow. Text 19. Sarvabhuta Diyalu Nirveda Darashane Sarva Jagatera Prita Haiba Ihane. Just by seeing him, the people of this world will develop love for him, compassion for other living entities, and detachment from material enjoyment. Wow. So again, there's that, Namaruchi, and also Jivadoy in this particular verse. Just by seeing Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. Wow. So, very fortunate you have them on your altar just by seeing them. Angye. Actually, the first deities we had in that Krishna conscious movement was a dancing picture of Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, and the other members of the Panchatattva. Wow. And that was sufficient. That's for us to join the movement. Just seeing that picture just got all of us to join the Hare Krishna movement. It's amazing. Anyera kijaya Vishnu drohiye yavana taharawe shishura bhajave janana. What to speak of others, even yavanas who are averse to Vishnu will worship the lotus feet of this Lord, of this child. Sorry. Text 21. Ananda Brahmanda Brahmande Kirti Gaiva Ihana Avipra E Shishure Karibe Pranama. His glories will be sung in innumerable universes, and everyone, including Brahmins, will offer respects to this child. Text 22. Bhagavata Dharma Maya Ihana Sharira Deva Dvija Guru Pitri Matrir Bhaktadira. He is the personification of religious principles and the benefactor of the demigods, the Brahmanas, and the spiritual masters, his father and mother, and the sober devotees. Text 23. Vishnu yena vatari lao ya yena dharma e mata e shishu karibe sarvakarma. Just as Lord Vishnu incarnates and induces people to follow religious principles, this child will perform similar activities. Text 24. Lagni yata kahi shubha lakshana ihana karashakti achetaha kadite vyakhyana. Who has the power to explain the auspicious symptoms that are found in the houses of this child's horoscope? 25. Danya tumi mishra puranda vagyavan yanra nandana tanre rahuka pranama. O Jagannath Mishra, you are indeed glorious and fortunate, because this child is your son. I offer my obeisances unto you. Text 26. Hena kosti ganilana ami bhagyavan Shri Vishwambara nama hoibe ikhana. I am also fortunate to have the privilege of calculating his horoscope. This child's name will be Shri Vishwambara. Wow. Ihane Valibe Loka Navadvipa Chandra Ebala Ke Janiha Kivala Parananda. Yet people will call him Navadvipa Chandra, knowing for certain that this child is the personification of spiritual ecstasy. That's interesting. Lord Chaitanya is the personification of spiritual ecstasy, because he's in the mood of Srimati Radharani. So Radharani, of course, is the Ashraya. We were talking about this last night, Ashraya Vishaya, that she's the repository or the embodiment of spiritual ecstasy. And Krishna is the Vishaya. But in many instances, Krishna becomes the Ashraya of spiritual ecstasy for his devotees. In his devotees, or focused on his devotees, and devotees become the Vishaya, the focus of spiritual ecstasy. Anyway. So text 28. Heno rase hachehaya dukera prakasha otaivana kuhila prabhura sannyasa. The Brahmana did not mention anything about the Lord's accepting sannyas out of fear for creating a distressful condition amidst the joyous occasion. You didn't want to say, well, at 24, he's leaving home, and his wife was going to be all bereft. So many times they don't see any inauspicious thing. Sometimes they'll, when doing the horoscope of a girl, for example, they'll say, this girl's first husband is going to die. So then they arrange for the girl to marry a banana tree, right? And then they cut the banana tree down. It's a tricky way out of the horoscope. So anyway, that's your husband. Picture your first husband, banana tree. Isn't he handsome? So it's done in India. Fiji too?
Fiji too, yeah.
Really? So how do they know it's a male or a female banana tree?
Gender fluid.
Yeah. I think they have both genders in bananas.
Yes, I use it.
Yeah. So text 29. Shuni Jagannatha Mishra Putrera Akyana Anani Vivala Vipre Diti Chahi Dana. Jagannath Mishra was overwhelmed with ecstasy upon hearing the child's glories, and he desired to give something in charity to the Brahmana. So, 30. Kichunahi Sudari Rida Datapi Anande Viprera Chalani Dari Mishra Chandra Konde. But because Jagannath Mishra was extremely poor, he simply took hold of the Brahmana's feet and cried. 31. Seha Viprakande Jagannatha Paidare Anande Sakala Loka Bale Huri Huri. The Brahmana then grabbed hold of Jagannath Mishra's feet and cried, while the people present there chanted, Hari, Hari, in ecstasy. 32. Divya Kosti, Shuniyata, Bandava Sakala, Jaya Jaya Diya Sabe, Karena Mangala. Hearing the Lord's extraordinary horoscope, the friends and relatives there happily chanted Jaya Jaya. 33. Tapakshare Aila Sakala Avadhyakara Vidanga Sanai Vamsi Vajaye Apara. At that time, various musicians came and began to enthusiastically play mridangas, shanai, and flutes. The shanai is a very beautiful instrument, and Prabhupada really liked the sound of the shanai. And even though there was a very nice shanai song that was, or melody, that was played by a Muslim, Prabhupada had it played for us every morning.
Okay.
Yeah, it was played over the sound speaker system in Mayapur every morning. And his voice says, it's played by a Muslim. They could play it, and Prabhupada said it creates an auspicious atmosphere. So every morning we'd go for a morning walk with Prabhupada, and they'd do this Shidhai playing over the loudspeaker system. And I don't think it's played anywhere else other than Bengal. Text 34. Deva striye narastriye napare chinite deve nare katra oila balamate. The demigoddesses mixed unnoticed with the ladies present there. And just one more text, two more texts, and then we'll take questions. Devamata savyahate danya durvalaya hasidena prabhu shire chirayu valiha. Aditi, the mother of the demigods, with her right hand placed paddy and durva grass on the head of the child and blessed him, saying, live a long life. Wow. Text 36. Chirakala pitivite karaha prakasha vathaiva chirayu valiyahela hasa. She desired that the Lord would always remain on this earth planet. Therefore she smiled as she blessed him with the words, live a long life. And that's where we'll end now. Of course, these particular pastimes were personally witnessed by Murari Gupta. And so it's Murari Gupta's diary and his other writings that form the basis of Vrindavan Das Thakur's writings, because Vrindavan Das Thakur wasn't present during this particular time. So in the same way, in the Caitanya Charitamrita, we have Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, who heard about the later pastimes from Raghunath Das Goswami. Because Raghunath Das Goswami was present with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through all the later Jagannath Puri pastimes. And he also talked to others who heard the earlier Jagannath Puri pastimes. So it was Raghunath Das Goswami whose recitation of the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu every day that actually forms the essential basis of the Caitanya Charitamrita. So this is not just hagiography. I don't know if you know what hagiography is. Anyone know what hagiography is?
No.
What is it? Anyone know? Hagiography is like a puffed up biography of someone where you add certain things.
Oh, yeah.
You know, just like, you know, someone writes my biography as a Gurudev walked on water or something like that. And I'll just say, well, it was just a little puddle on the ground. You know, that's it's called a hagiography. Or like when one of my god sisters said that Prabhupada never touched the earth. That's called a hagiographical, because it's not true.
Yeah.
I was with Prabhupada, and I saw the footprints, and I ate the sand from the footprints. So he must have touched the ground. At least then he touched the ground. So, people come up with all these amazing stories. Prabhupada looked at me, he was reading my mind. So, and they just sort of sometimes deify a pure devotee. Deify means they make him like God.
Yes.
He's not. So it's a real problem. And in Christianity too, they have all these hagiographical, which are biographies of different saints, and people make it up over the years of different things, and it's not exactly always accurate. Okay. Any questions or comments? Yes.
So this question isn't related to this. It's more based on the Bhagavatam. So in Canto 3, I think it was chapter 12. It was talking about the creations of the Kumaras and the others.
Yeah.
And it's talked about the birth of Rudra from Brahma.
Rudra.
And I just wanted to know, is Rudra and Lord Shiva the same person, or are they?
Rudra is an expansion of Shiva. Yeah.
Okay.
They talk about there were 11 Rudras, and they were really angry, and so Lord Brahma got them married, to pacify them. So if you see a really angry person, you should arrange for their marriage, right?
Actually, in this age, when someone gets married, they get even more angry.
Do you want to take sannyas? That was my line. Not yours. Oh my God. Okay. I won't touch that one with a 10-foot pole. So yes. You go.
You were talking at the beginning about the duration of Lord Brahma's life.
Yeah.
So I just want to ask, in terms of the length, obviously it's like 300 trillion,
whatever it is, I haven't calculated it all.
So, but in terms of experience, do people there experience one day the same way?
Yeah. People in Brahmaloka, yeah.
So if that's the case, then what's the point of having a long duration if it still feels the same?
That's right. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Like Prabhupada said, 100 years is experienced differently according to the living entities. Prabhupada even talked about how some bugs, they experience their whole lifespan within, nighttime. They're born, they have all their little bug babies. Yeah. And then get married. Divorced. Bug divorces, and then bug grandchildren, everything within their lifetime. And then they fly into the light or something like that. Fireflies.
Yeah, Brahmajyoti.
Yeah. So they experience. Yeah, what's the point of having a long lifetime? I think the demigods may experience a little longer. I mean, this is just my speculation because if they have someone continually executing, pinda for them, like in Pitri Loka, you stay for a little longer. And then when you're good karma, if you have a lot of good karma, you stay up on the heavenly planets longer. So the duration is actually different according to the karmic cycle too, in the heavenly planets. So it's hard for me to answer because I haven't heard a direct explanation of it. But you do find certain demigods last longer than other demigods. And of course, in the Manus, there's a cycle of Manus. 14 Manus in each day. Lord Brahma, 72 cycles for each Manu. That whole calculation. Anyway, we have to go there to figure it out. But for Lord Brahma, his day is like our day. It has 24 hours of his time. Like we hear about a moment, less than a moment, when he hesitated after he stole the cowherd boys and the calves.
Money
he
and
came
fast.
back, and that was a whole year
Yeah.
on the Earth planet. So, his experience of time
Time dilation.
dilation,
Yeah.
like Einstein's
Einstein's theory.
theory of relativity.
Yeah.
I mean, it was completely different than our experience of time. And so, anyway, all we know is Lord Caitanya appeared a little over 500 years ago,
Yeah.
and we still have Srila Prabhupada's Association of the Krishna Conscious Movement, which hopefully will last longer if we can learn to get along with each other. That's the whole key. Cooperation. If the devotees can cooperate and not engage in so much bureaucracy. Like Prabhupada said, what do you say about bureaucracy? He was commenting on the GBC one time. He said, resolutions, revolutions, dissolutions, no solutions. That's Prabhupada's quote.
So true.
Because you try to, every year we have all these new resolutions.
Yeah.
But it doesn't change anything. We're still just as much Maya as we ever were. So, resolution. You pass a resolution, everyone should be Krishna conscious, okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't change anyone's life, I mean, certain resolutions are necessary, but every year we have to process so many different resolutions. And, some of the bureaucrats, which call the deputies, they love it. But I'm thinking, does it change anyone's life? They have to be relevant. Someone will pass a resolution that you're not allowed to use a guitar in kirtan. There's a kirtan ministry, kirtan police, something like that. Does it change anybody? So we have to be really careful. And actually this year I just got notice from the GBC body, please no more resolutions. We're so backlogged with the other resolutions that we have no time for new. Because usually we have until December to send resolutions for the next what's called AGM, the Mayapur annual general meeting. And this year said, no, you're not allowed to send any more new resolutions. And some people really like resolutions are complaining, oh, what are we going to do with life, You can't have more resolutions, but, just like, oh, this is chant, be happy, worship Lord Bhaja, Govinda, Anyway, management in Kali Yuga is a real austerity, I can tell you that. Okay, so I think it's time to end because we have a schedule today, and I do my deity worship. Thank you all. All glory is to His divine grace. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada.